In the timeless realm of Vaikuntha, where peace is eternal and Vishnu resides in divine bliss, there stood two mighty gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya. Loyal, powerful, and ever watchful, they guarded the gates of Vishnu's abode with great pride. But pride can cloud even the wisest. One day, the four Kumaras, Sanka, Sanandana, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumara, ancient sages with the appearance of children, arrived at the gates of Vaikuntha. Pure-hearted and ever curious, they wished to see Lord Vishnu and bask in his divine presence. But Jaya and Vijaya, seeing them as mere children, blocked their path. "The Lord is resting," they said. "You may not enter now." The Kumaras, beings of pure sattva, purity, were shocked. In Vaikuntha, where no ego or discrimination exists, how could they be turned away? Enraged by the arrogance, the Kumaras uttered a powerful curse: "You who block the path to the Lord shall be separated from him. You will be born on earth, in the world of suffering and illusion." The curse thundered through Vaikuntha. Jaya and Vijaya fell to their knees, horrified. They rushed to Vishnu, who, smiling as if he had foreseen it all, gently said, "This too is my will." "But you have a choice," Vishnu offered them two paths: 7 lifetimes as my devotees, born in loving families, far from me but filled with devotion. Or 3 lifetimes as my enemies, born with hatred in your hearts, but I will take your lives myself. Jaya and Vijaya, fierce warriors and deeply loyal, chose the second. "Better to be slain by you, my lord, than to be separated from you for so long." Thus began their descent into mortal realms, where they would become the villains of Vishnu's avatars, but always as part of his cosmic play, Leela. In the Satya Yuga, Jaya and Vijaya were born as two terrifying asuras, Hiranyaksha, who dragged the earth into the cosmic ocean, slain by Vishnu as Varha, the boar. Hiranyakashipu, who declared himself God and was destroyed by Narsimha, the man-lion avatar, to protect Prahlad, his own son and Vishnu devotee. In the Treta Yuga, they were reborn as the 10-headed demon king Ravana and his brother Kumbhakarna, who kidnapped Sita and ruled Lanka with arrogance. Vishnu came as Rama, the perfect prince, to vanquish them. In the Dwapara Yuga, they were Shishupala and Dantavakra, proud kings who insulted Krishna and fought him to their deaths, again fulfilling the curse. Let me tell you the story of one of these avatars, Shishupala. Shishupala was the son of Dambhusha, the king of Chedi, and Shrutashrava, who was the sister of Vasudeva, Krishna's father. This made Shishupala and Krishna cousins. Interestingly, Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, was also Vasudeva's sister, making Krishna and the Pandavas cousins. However, Shishupala's birth was quite unusual. He was born with 4 arms and 3 eyes, causing great consternation to his parents. Terrified by the monstrous form, the royal family nearly abandoned him. But then, a divine voice echoed, "Do not fear this child. He will grow into a powerful warrior. His extra limbs and eye will disappear when he is held by a very special person. But beware, this same person will ultimately be the cause of his death." Many royal figures came to see the strange child, but his appearance remained unchanged. When Krishna, still a young boy, visited Chedi with his parents, Shrutashrava, out of affection for her brother's son, placed Shishupala in Krishna's lap. To everyone's astonishment, the extra limbs and eye vanished instantly. Overjoyed but also fearful due to the second part of the prophecy, Shrutashrava pleaded with Krishna to forgive any offenses her son might commit against him in the future. Krishna, with a compassionate smile, granted her a boon: he would forgive Shishupala for his first 100 offenses. Instead of gratitude for restoring his form, Shishupala grew up with a burning hatred for Krishna, jealous of his power, wisdom, and divine aura. As they grew older, Shishupala's hatred deepened. He mocked Krishna at every opportunity, questioning his legitimacy and dismissing his divine status. The enmity intensified when Krishna abducted Rukmini, the princess of Vidarbha, who was originally supposed to marry Shishupala. Despite Rukmini's love for Krishna, Shishupala saw it as a public humiliation. From that day, his bitterness turned into obsession. Years later, the Pandav king Yudhishthir performed the Ratsya Yagna, a grand ritual where all kings were invited, and the greatest among them was to be honored. When the moment arrived, Bhishma declared Krishna as the most worthy, an embodiment of Dharma, the upholder of cosmic order. This was the last straw for Shishupala. He stood up in the royal court and launched into a furious tirade, insulting Krishna, the Pandavas, Bhishma, and even the Vedas. He called Krishna a cowherd, a manipulator, and a thief. The assembly gasped, but Krishna remained calm. As Shishupala hurled one insult after another, Krishna silently counted. When the 100th insult passed his lips, Krishna rose. Without anger, without hesitation, he summoned his Sudarshana Chakra, the divine discus, and beheaded Shishupala instantly in front of the entire assembly. To everyone's shock, a glowing light emerged from Shishupala's body and merged into Krishna's form. Even in hatred, Shishupala's constant focus on Krishna had liberated his soul, granting him moksha, liberation. The story of Krishna and Shishupala is not just about revenge or justice, it's about the nature of divine grace. Krishna, the divine avatar, remained patient even in the face of hatred, honoring a promise, and only acted when dharma demanded it. Even the one who hated him most found salvation, not through devotion, but through constant remembrance.
Thank you for joining us on this timeless journey. Like, share, and subscribe to stay connected to stories that stir the soul. Until next time, stay curious. Stay conscious.